My name is Megan. Hello. This is like my first video. Last week didn't really count because it wasn't really like a video. But I'm really sorry about that. I was gonna do a video, but my grandmother had surgery and it turned out a little bit more serious than we thought it was gonna be, so bear with me. This is all about triggers, this video. All about triggers and how to overcome them. I think first it's trying to like self-diagnose your triggers, because I got the email for Gretchen and I was like, damn, what are mine? Like, what kind of flips that switch and why do I go on binges? But I was just looking back in the past what usually caused them, and a lot of mine are emotional, very much so. Stress, absolutely. I work in sales, so you kind of have to sell yourself in the whole business, and I don't really like myself much, so it's a little difficult. Being a disappointment. In my head, it's like all these people have so many expectations, and in actuality they really don't at all, but it's just myself that has all these expectations, and the feeling of me letting, not me down, them down is what causes the binge most of the time. The ways to get overcome those different triggers would most likely be, for me, certain hobbies. I have to watch out because a lot of my hobbies kind of become more solitary things, activities like reading, listening to music, poetry. So some of them aren't the best ways of dealing with it, of like bypassing a trigger, but for me they work because it takes my mind off of it, but it also kind of like adds to my isolation. So we really try to get away from that. Another big way for me to overcome and just to try to distract myself is short-term goals. Help a lot. Oh my goodness. I can't do long-term ever. Like, it will never work for me because 3 days later I'm like, wait, what was it? Oh, well, meh. And I always give myself an excuse, or I always like try to talk myself out of it, so it just doesn't work. Short-term goals though, I have a higher percentage of actually achieving them, so that's great. It makes me not feel as much as a failure anymore. I mean, right now in my to-do list in my head, I have big one being my vacation coming up. Yay! Going to New Orleans with my best friends. And I'm so excited for it. It's gonna be a blast. We're going for 5 days to the French Quarter. So excited about that. So my mind has been preoccupied with my traveling plans, itinerary, Wikipediaing the crap of what to do. So that's very exciting. Plan a little road trip. Plan an event with friends. It doesn't even have to be like a barbecue. It can be like you guys going out. I know that my best friend and I make it a habit to go to like Borders or a bookstore or the library and just hang out and just talk and look at things and get away from the kitchen, get away from food and restaurants, and it's a lot of fun. Read a book, and then like a big book, like make it a goal. If you've never read like War and Peace, do it. Odyssey, that's friggin' huge, you know, like Little Women, Jane Austen. Read a book that you've been so meaning to read, or but you also, very importantly though, you have to keep in mind, by distracting yourself, you can't go too far and try and deny or forget that you have an ED, because once you do, it's kind of like the monster sneaks up behind you and just like overwhelms you entirely. So you can't do that. You have to keep an eye on it, acknowledge it. Absolutely, you know it's there. Don't think about it so much anymore by doing these activities, but still know in the back of your mind that you do have an issue or a problem or an eating disorder. Make sure that while you're doing all these different activities of trying to bypass your triggers and overcome them, that you're not mentally telling yourself that you have nothing wrong with you, because you do, and it's okay. We all do. I think that's my biggest problem. I am not in recovery. I'm trying to get there. At the same time, I'll catch myself pretending, you know, like, oh, I'm fine, I don't have a problem, and then 2 days later I binge. Have to watch it, because it can turn into something a lot bigger than you expect it to. So definitely be aware of your triggers first off. Define them. Okay, know that they're there, but don't deny them, if that makes sense. Don't try and forget about them. I hope to get to know everybody. I'm so excited. I mean, this is pretty much my first video for you guys, so I'm so excited. Leave responses, recommendations. I love hearing what other people have to say, or how they like to cope, or how they listen to a certain type of music or artist, or read a certain type of book or poetry. So recommend things. We all are in the same boat and we all need help, so that's what this is for. Thanks guys, and have a super weekend. Do something fun. Go out, plan a party, go swimming. I have to try and work on my tan. That's why I'm in a tank top, so that way I don't die in New Orleans. Not by the murderers, by the sun, possibly the alligators. Oh, also, leave me recommendations and tell me what I should do when we're in New Orleans, if you've ever been. Alright, bye.